And one way to appreciate the outsized importance of attendance is to think about the extent to which your impact is a product of effectiveness and scale. So for example, let's say you have a program that's highly effective. It's a 4 out of 5, whatever that means to you. And it's a 4 out of 5 in terms of actual effectiveness. And it really gets people to change their behavior. And let's say 10 people complete that program. Now compare that to a program with effectiveness 2 out of 5, but 100 people complete it. If you multiply those numbers out, that's 5 times the impact with a learning experience that is half as good. So scale is what really wins the day here, because it's really hard to make something even twice as effective, let alone 3 times. It's much easier to get twice as many people to do something, or 3 times as many people. So with that said, let's review the 5 tactics that we found to be most effective for boosting attendance. The first of which is what we call forced enrollment. So in most organizations, people are really busy, or they say they're busy, stuff comes up all the time. So just putting a class on somebody's calendar may be a good idea. We call this forced enrollment. It's a lot nicer than it sounds, especially when you have flexibility built in. So there's higher motivation to attend because it magically appears on your calendar and it's been assigned by some part of the organization. But there's probably some more likelihood that some people may have a conflict, or the time that you assign them may be inconvenient. So if you have some flexibility built in, so you allow for people to switch to different cohorts or different sessions, maybe you give some makeup options and so on, then you are likely to get what a lot of our customers get, which is over 90% attendance in a lot of cases and program completion. Another approach that we take, a second option, which we've also seen to be really successful, is to create a bunch of slots and invite people to sign up for the ones that they feel best fits their schedule. We call this open enrollment. And with it, there's lower motivation to attend because you have to go through the sign up process. Maybe people don't want to click a bunch of buttons to sign up, but there's also a lower likelihood of having conflicts or inconveniences. So we address this by making enrollment as easy as possible. And in general, we help admins who choose this option to remind their people, to nudge their people that they can choose whichever class they want, but they are highly advised to choose at least one. Okay. The third tactic is a kind of combination of 2 really valuable things that are better together, which is you want to get executive sponsors, but you want to specifically get them to sell the benefits of the program. So the right executive is going to capture the attention of learners and create company-wide excitement. Or you might have to look at the specific audience. The right executive might change depending on who the audience is. Who's the most relevant for this learning experience? Who does the audience look up to the most, let's say? But the best thing that those executives can actually be saying about the program is, what am I going to get out of this program? How is it going to make my life easier or better? And why is it important to the company? And if an executive is making that case, again, you're going to have some natural boost of motivation to take that class. And it signals to people that executives are paying attention to the results of the program. So that's a good thing as well. Another tactic that we use on occasion is to offer a pre-assessment. This is an earlier version of our assessment. It doesn't look like this anymore, but I wanted to just show as an example an assessment that people can take that's related to whatever they're going to learn about, that allows them to maybe get some feedback and then hear maybe that people are dissatisfied with some aspect of their performance, or have them suddenly realize that they have some kind of gap in their abilities, and that would motivate them to attend the program. And you don't even need to create an assessment. You could just have a program tied to the results of, let's say you're doing a company-wide manager survey that you're going to be doing anyway. And as a result of that survey, some people are going to be like, oh man, I didn't know my team thought XYZ of me. And if you have a learning program that's tied to that, it's a very natural step that people can take. Again, another way to boost attendance. And then the last attendance booster, and the one that may have the largest impact on scale, is to launch training to multiple audiences around a shared moment of need. For example, let's say you have Q1 planning coming up. That's a perfect opportunity for everyone in the company to do some training around setting goals or setting OKRs or setting strategy, depending on their level. And doing this not only helps you vastly broaden your scale and thus your total impact, but you're also likely to create some kind of synergistic effects where ideas from like these new ideas that are percolating at all these levels are going to interact in some way, and you're going to get additional benefits just by virtue of all of these people in your organization learning basically about the same thing, just in a way that's more tailored to their level. I'm going to ask you a question in a moment. Before I do, just want to point out each of these tactics is not perfect. They all have holes in them, but together they're pretty solid. So this is called the Swiss cheese model, and it applies. It's often used to talk about accidents. If you want to remove the possibility of an accident, you create all of these different fail safes. But this applies also to how you're rolling out a program to get people to attend.